mají video.
So that footage was shot by We Are Change Rotterdam. The full link to the video will be in the description below. But this is Rudkowski of WeAreChange.org here in Dresden, Germany at the location of the 2016 Bilderberg group meeting. The story you're about to hear is insane. Concerned citizens like Alan and Maria, who have come here to investigate Bilderberg, to be here a part of the protest, have just went through horrendous conditions by the police, who targeted them, arrested them, beat them up, stole their money, and virtually did just god-awful things. They banned you from this place. Just starting off, tell us what happened and why it happened to you guys.
Well, first of all, we were over by the stalls here where there was a gathering and information distributing about Bilderberg, and then we walked back towards where the Bilderberg hotel was, where the hotel was. On the opposite side of the road from the hotel, we were accosted by a group of police officers who basically told us that we weren't allowed to cross the road because we were carrying a tent. This was a very light, flexible pop-up tent because, you know, for no given reason, I didn't respect that order because I didn't believe it to be legitimate or lawful, so I crossed the road anyway. Then I was accosted again on the other side when I decided to hand over the tent to them and say, you look after it on the other side of the road then, because I want to see what's going on in the Bilderberg meeting as people were arriving, the attendees were arriving. So basically, then Maria had been detained on the other side of the road with all our stuff, and I went back over to the other side to see what was going on with my camera. As soon as I got near to her, I was grabbed by one of the police officers, chucked between two police vans, basically thrown into the back of this police car by about maybe 5 officers, punched repeatedly in the back of the head. I have a sore ear and several several bruises and stuff since then, and basically we were taken to a nearby park where we were forced to sit right one in front of another.
I was forced to sit, Alan was forced to sit with his legs spread like that. I was forced to sit with my legs spread with my bum rammed against his crotch, which is was apparently an appropriate position to put two people that they had no idea what our kind of comfortability with each other was. They had no reason to assume that we would be comfortable even touching. They don't know who we are or anything like that. And whenever we moved slightly, we were slammed back into that position. Yeah. If I moved my leg slightly, it was slammed back.
Yeah, you were telling me yesterday the police officers, some of them were pretending not to even speak English when they did, and they were walking by aggressively stomping on you and your feet as well when you were walking by, but they also stole your money as well and deleted your footage?
That's right. Well, I was interviewed for a while, about the laws I was supposed to have broken, which was resisting an enforcement officer. At first I was told that I had done some rumble bumble, as they called it. In other words, sort of making a ruckus or some sort of thing. That they got rid of that and decided that actually I had been in possession of some bread and a tent, which I apparently was going to throw at the Bilderberg attendees.
Yeah, they tried to say that the bread was a potential weapon that you guys had, and you guys are camping out here. You guys came all the way from the United Kingdom out here. You guys are just trying to be out here, and they're saying your bread and your tent were weapons.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely laughable. It was a complete joke. Obviously, it was just an excuse to manhandle us, to brutalise us, to basically put us off from being involved in this movement against these globalists, and to put anyone else off that might hear about this story. Well, it's not going to put us off. We've been through this kind of crap with police before. It's actually only going to sort of make us more determined. And I mean, it was just an excuse. But they'll make any excuse up to justify what they want to do. And you see, like, when you're right in front of the hotel and when you have the protection of some members of the public and cameras and stuff, they'll behave very politely and they'll be all patient and reasonable and understanding and stuff, while also, you know, enforcing the laws. But as soon as they get away from the public, they'll happily be punching you in the head or whatever, you know, because they do not want people investigating Bilderberg. And, you know.
Sadly, it wasn't far away at all. It only took about 8 or so meters for them to have enough privacy, enough space from the journalists to be able to start violently attacking us for preposterously low reasons.
Well, whenever you shine a light on the darkness, they get automatically exposed, and that's why it's so important to be independent media, to always film these interactions and to always hold the police accountable. And here, they are just totally lawless and totally out of control. So you spent a night in jail, and can you tell us what the police officers told you about even just being near the Bilderberg group?
Well, basically, I mean, I didn't actually spend the night in jail. They released me about 10 p.m. But well, they didn't really make any mention of the Bilderberg. They were just like, although when I was actually taken to the police station, the room that I was taken to had actually been specifically allocated for dealing with the Bilderberg conference, because they actually had a printed out sign on the wall that said Bilderberg Conference 2016 and stuff. So they were obviously prepared to obviously police it, and they had this room specially allocated. But in terms of the money they stole from me, I had 150 euros on me because we're travelling around, you know, like we're going from place to place and we're carrying cash. And so like I had 150 euros on me. They decided that the prosecutor said that I had 100 euros had to be taken out of that because of anticipated payment of an expected fine, was the English translation that the printout that they gave me. It's absolutely insane. Like I'm guilty before any trial. I'm guilty before like before I've had a chance to have my say. Now I have only 50 euros left, and I had 150 before. Like, you know, they don't care about that. They don't care at all. Like when I was sitting in handcuffs and it was cutting into my wrist, I've actually lost the feeling in lost some of the feeling in both of my thumbs because of the handcuffs were on so tight. And I just said, can you loosen the handcuffs? I was not resisting physically in any way to what they were doing, and they just said, no, that's fine. But I'm in pain. No, that's fine. It's fine that you're in pain.
Yeah, you could see the marks from the handcuffs on your arms and the cuts on your legs and your knees. But what did the police officers tell you about even returning back here to Bilderberg to see what's happening?
They just said you have a 500-meter ban. If you're found there, then you will be arrested.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I had a map given to me with a drawn area where I was not allowed to enter. And Maria wasn't even arrested. She hasn't even been accused of any offence.
Yeah, well, after we'd been sat in the park handcuffed in like a perverse position for about an hour, they then informed us that actually Alan was being arrested, and we said, well, we're not already arrested. They said, no, you haven't been arrested yet. And I said, well, what are we doing then? They said, you're waiting. I was like, well, I don't tend to wait like this, like waiting, you know, there's be sort of a consensual, non-painful sort of protest. But they said, process, sorry. And they were like, no, you're just waiting, you're not arrested at the moment. So then I was released, and they got an officer. They used an officer's time to go and collect the tent and the bread and give it to me, and then they said, oh, you pitch up there if you want, bye, and then drove off.
So they gave you the weapon back, which they seen as bread.
The thing is, I was arrested for the weapon, which I was never in possession of during the entire occurrence. I had never had the possession of the bread. I was just carrying the tent. You know.
The weapon, they categorized bread as a weapon.
And 10.
Yeah, that's all you need to.
Now, when the police officers stole my camera when I was filming, they also told me a similar thing. They said, whenever they see my face for the next 3 days, anywhere around Bilderberg, that they are going to give me a horrible time, that they're going to physically assault me, that they are going to arrest me for even being in the presence. They gave me a similar warning. We came back with all the media crews, but obviously as a journalist, and obviously having my connections with all the other journalists out here, we came fully loaded with all the journalists and all the followers, and we went through the lines. You were there. You were also filming before all the incidences happened with you. But again, just total lawless, illegal, above the law behavior. And when you're just trying to see what's happening, when you're just trying to be a protester, they go after you even more. We're going to have a link in the description below to your Facebook pages so people could read the full story that Alan put on his Facebook page. But also, if there's any lawyers out there, we definitely drastically need German lawyers to file suits against all these guys. Contact Alan and Maria, contact me. We need all the lawyers. We're going to fight back. We're not going to back down in any way, shape, or form. So follow the links below if you know of any connections. We could desperately use it right now because these guys are totally acting above the law, and it's time to stand up and say enough and fight their battles on their own turf. We could do it. Any last closing comments that you guys have?
No, just like, you know, this is what we come to expect as the world's becoming increasingly fascist, as the people like the Bilderbergers and the central bankers gain more control of the world. And, you know, we see this happening all the world over. So, you know, yeah, we need to collectively fight back against their tyranny. And it's only going to get worse until we can, you know, like effectively fight back against it. So and that's certainly what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, not that shocking. Hopefully one day it will be.
Thank you guys so much. Check out their Facebook pages, support them and help them if they can. Thank you so much for watching. Again, it's your eyes, it's your viewership. The main reason I haven't been physically arrested and assaulted like they threatened to do so is because of the followers, is because of you watching and all the other journalists who are there with their viewers. We have powers in numbers. They are afraid of it. They are afraid of the light. They are full of darkness. Let's shine that light together. Thank you again so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We're going to have a lot more coverage of Bilderberg coming here your way. This is Rudkowski of WeAreChange.org here in the barrios of Caracas, Venezuela, one of the top murder capitals of the world. What am I doing here? I'm crazy. As a journalist, I try to give you stories that all the other journalists are afraid to show you. I want to show you the raw truths of exactly what's happening in this world, but I think I did too much coming here to Venezuela. I'm joined by another crazy man, the one and only Jeff Berwick of the Dollar Vigil.